The bridge that was stolen overnight. Imagine waking up one morning only to realize an entire bridge has vanished. No signs of destruction, no construction workers, just gone. Sounds unbelievable, right? But this actually happened in Russia, in one of the most bizarre heists ever recorded. Missing bridge mystery. This strange event took place in the Khabarovsk region of Russia. The bridge, made of steel and weighing nearly 200 tons, stretched over a small river. It had been there for years, serving as a crossing point for vehicles and pedestrians, but one day it was simply missing. The road leading to the river ended abruptly, with tire tracks and scattered metal, debris as the only signs that something had been removed. The atmosphere was eerie, with early morning fog adding to the mystery. Confused locals stood near the river, pointing at the empty space where the bridge once stood, trying to make sense of what had happened. At first, people assumed it was a planned government operation. Maybe the bridge was being removed for repairs. Maybe it was old and unsafe, but as the hours passed, no official reports surfaced. No warning signs were put up, and the authorities had no idea what had happened. It was as if the bridge had simply disappeared overnight. The stolen bridge. Authorities quickly launched an investigation. How does a massive steel structure vanish without anyone noticing? Had there been a natural disaster? A strong flood? But the river beneath was calm, and there was no record of extreme weather. The bridge hadn't collapsed. It had been stolen. Further inspection of the site revealed that the metal beams had been neatly cut, not broken apart. This wasn't an accident or an act of nature. It was a carefully planned heist. Investigators now faced the strange question: who would steal an entire bridge? And more importantly, how? It wasn't like stealing a car or a bicycle. This was an industrial-level crime that required heavy machinery, precision, and time. The more authorities looked into it, the more they realized that this wasn't the work of amateurs. The thieves at work. As the investigation continued, the shocking truth was uncovered. The bridge had been stolen by a group of highly organized thieves. They came prepared, arriving under the cover of darkness with industrial cutting tools, welding torches, and heavy-duty trucks. Their plan was simple but effective: dismantle the bridge piece by piece and transport it to a scrapyard before sunrise. To avoid suspicion, the thieves even wore construction gear, making it look like an official operation. Some locals assumed they were government workers, removing an old bridge for replacement. No one thought to question them. Within a few hours, the bridge was completely dismantled. The thieves loaded the massive steel beams onto their trucks and drove away. By the time the sun rose, all that remained was an empty space where the bridge had stood, selling the stolen metal. Once the thieves had successfully stolen the bridge, they had to sell the metal quickly before authorities could track them down. The stolen steel beams were taken to a scrapyard, where they were unloaded and prepared for sale. Scrapyard workers, unaware or perhaps ignoring the fact that the metal was stolen, began cutting it into smaller pieces for easy transport. A suspicious-looking buyer arrived carrying a large bag of cash. He inspected the metal, checking its weight and quality. After a short negotiation, money exchanged hands, and the thieves walked away with a hefty profit. It was a perfect crime, until the police caught wind of the deal. Authorities had been tracking large scrap metal sales in the area, suspecting that stolen materials might surface. Their investigation soon led them to the scrapyard, where the stolen bridge was being sold. Criminals caught. Police launched a raid on the scrapyard, surrounding the owner and workers as they inspected the stolen metal. Officers uncovered piles of steel beams, cut up bridge pieces, and even fake work permits that the thieves had used to disguise themselves as construction workers. The scrapyard owner looked shocked, but the evidence was undeniable. Several people were arrested, including the masterminds behind the heist. The stolen bridge had finally been found, but in pieces. As the thieves were handcuffed and taken into custody, they looked regretful, realizing that their daring crime had come to an end. The stolen metal was seized, and authorities began investigating whether similar crimes had occurred elsewhere. Stealing a bridge might sound like a plot from a movie, but this real-life crime proves that thieves will go to extreme lengths for money. This case isn't unique around the world. Criminals have stolen everything from railway tracks to entire houses, all for the value of their materials. In response, many governments now install security cameras on bridges, power lines, and even street signs to prevent metal theft. So what do you think? Was this the perfect crime? Or just a foolish mistake? Let us know in the comments.